I'm going to allow y'all to join my little meditation session. Um, this is more than just like a meditation session. This is really like a healing session. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna allow you to be a fly on the wall. Do not do too much in them comments, okay? Do not do too much in them comments. I did this last night. Massaged my shoulder blades, and they're very sore. Oof. Oh, that's too intense. I have to use my hand. So helpful. You know, on another video of me doing yoga, someone had said, time heals all. And shout out to that man because he's very supportive on my page. But I just kept thinking about that as I'm doing this, because time does not heal anything, to be honest. It heals nothing. You have the same trauma stored in your body for 20 years if you don't actively work towards releasing that energy. And for myself, I have the same trauma stored in my body from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 8 years ago. If you don't actively remove it, it's gonna be there forever. I was recording myself doing a self-massage before I went to sleep last night. That video stopped recording and missed like 30 minutes of footage. I just cut the phone off, kept doing what I was doing. I was like, yeah, it's a dub. But that was good for me though, because once I cut the phone off, sometimes it can be kind of weird recording yourself while you're doing something intimate like this. And it can kind of stop you from like locking in how you would if there was no camera on you. So having no camera on me was good in that moment because it really just needed to be just for me. You know, and when you're willing to be vulnerable on the internet like this and share parts of your life, parts of who you are, you know, when you have a presence that is very big, you know, this is a lonely path. this is a very lonely path. Most people are scared of you. Then a lot of other people are like haters and shit. I be thinking it's crazy when like somebody's online and they're being vulnerable and then people be in the comments like popping it when you don't even have the courage to even show your face online, let alone even show vulnerability, show your real essence. But the internet is a weird place and the hate comes with it. That's of course. But nonetheless though, this ain't no easy path to walk. For sure. You gotta be strong. For sure. There's a lot of people that want to silence you. For sure. You know? You gotta be okay with being a black sheep and being an outcast, being a loner. And I think it's really unfortunate and sad that most people will never know real love because they will never care to like access it within themselves. Most people will never experience real lovemaking because they can't even meet themselves that deeply. And that is very sad and unfortunate to me. And that's partially why I do what I do, and this is partially why I share the way I share. I want more people to meet themselves deeply. You know, I don't think my body ever has like really has ever like not understood trauma. When I look back at a lot of my early memories, I was already familiar with pain. So I ran out of storage, so I had to delete the videos that were already in my recently deleted. Back to what I was saying though. I've been familiar with pain my entire life. So, you know, that can make you one of two ways. It can make you bitter. It can make you a very intolerant type of person. Or you can go the other way with it and you can have compassion for people. You can choose to see things from other people's perspectives. You can choose to develop proper boundaries. You can choose to remove and elevate yourself. And I say that to say, really, through my experiences, I still have always chosen to see that there could be another life for me. I've still always chosen to still keep like loving, healthy relationships on my mind. I never stopped seeing those things as unattainable. I've experienced poverty all of my life. I had a few years of a good run, and it's actually crazy to say, the few years of my life where I actually had a lot of money, those were the best years of my life. When people be like, money does not bring you happiness, like, please, okay? Once you develop a sense of self, money absolutely does bring you happiness. Like, get out of here. If you have no sense of identity, of course money is gonna make you happy, babe. It only makes you happy when you already have a sense of identity, okay? And you can move with purpose and intention in your life, literally. But even then, though, like, even experiencing all the poverty that I have and to such extreme degrees that I have, I still never felt like being wealthy was unattainable for me. I still never felt like that. Even at my most poorest moments, I still never felt like it was unattainable. I really have always seen things as just the situation for the moment. That's it. But I always have believed that your life can change at any moment. Any moment. You know, sometimes I think I get so tired of loud cars and loud motorcycles. It's like, okay, we get it. You're not getting no attention as a child. It's just, please. It's just so unnecessary. Oh my God, wow, I started talking shit. I forgot. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, sometimes I think that, not sometimes I think that, I used to feel like if I just had, I don't know if I can count sex. I don't know. Can I say sex? I mean, I'm pretty sure I can say sex on YouTube. I don't know. If I just had sex, you know, I would get my energy circulating and things would, like, the things in my life that feel stagnant would just move, right? But if it's just sex and there's not actual love being exchanged, then I wouldn't feel like that whatsoever. And it took me a couple experiences to learn that lesson of you can't just have sex to try to like heal a piece of yourself and to restore your energy. You need to actually be making love. Otherwise, it's just gonna make you it just made me want to stab men probably like 45 times. In all honesty. You know, I don't think, you know, at times my intentions were pure, but I was acting from places of trauma. acting from places of already structured routines and belief systems that I had about myself. So it would just feel like men were just always taking from me. That's what intimacy always felt like for me, is something being taken away from me, the exchange never being equal. I was always leaving them with much more than they fucking came with. And it was not returned. That will make you want to stab somebody 45 times. I've had very long periods of abstaining from sex, and not really necessarily intentionally, just like I've never been the type of person to be like, oh, I'm celibate. It's never been like that for me. It's just more so been like very much energetically focused on myself. And I mean, I'm not really interested in just doing it just to do it. So that kind of naturally puts you in a space of celibacy a lot of times. And I would break these long spells of celibacy, have sex, be disappointed because my energy is so much more than 80% of people on this planet's energy, in all honesty. That it would just make me want to be angry and violent. It would really trigger like a deep-seated rage inside of me. Okay? And there was one moment where the rage was so heavy. A person had broken a promise to me. And the rage was so heavy in me. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm never feeling this again. I'm washing my hands of these type of experiences. Okay, I am laying the law down. I'm putting myself first, period. You know, and some women will be like, how did you get like this? Like, how did you get so disciplined in what I'm willing to accept from other people and what I'm not? I'm not really willing to accept anything. How did I get so disciplined in that nature? Babe, pain. Tired of being in pain. Tired of letting people hurt me when I could have operated differently because I seen who they were the entire time. Right? So when you choose to play the game with a person, you can't be mad if they're like more shiesty to you. Like, you can't be mad. You can't be mad at you. You can't be mad. You definitely can be mad, but it's like, you know, you knew better, but you didn't do better. Yeah, I wanted to leave all those cycles of feeling taken advantage of behind. But you know, something I noticed about that trajectory, you know, it initially started as physically being taken advantage of, right? But then it started to change and the degrees of trauma would lessen. In a certain way, you know? I think the pain would get stronger, but the actual trauma would be lessened. That's not what I mean. That's not what I mean. How do I, okay, let me see. How do I put that? Okay, I started to feel like the dynamics were more balanced. Like, I was starting to get more out of the towards the end of that cycle, I started to feel like I was getting more out of it than just being taken advantage of. Like initially, I was just purely being taken advantage of. And then as I was growing and evolving, it seemed like now it was starting to be a little bit more even. But it was still being taken advantage of. It was still a lot of trauma and pain and hurt there. I just felt like, well, okay, I'm getting more out of it this time. So I think that kept me from realizing how I was still in the same cycle, because it seemed more fair than the previous ones. That's what I mean. You know, and when people are doing yoga, I think that a very simple, lustful mind could look at that as like thirst trapping or something. Bro, people are connecting to themselves, connecting to their bodies, healing through sexual movement. Ain't nobody worried about thirst trapping for y'all. Like, but a very lustful, simple-minded individual will think that it's thirst trapping. And some people do be thirst trapping, but some other people really just be tapping in with themselves. It's definitely a difference, babe. I don't know who that was for, but it's clearly for one of y'all, two of y'all, 5 of y'all, 10, who knows. You know, it's very important to set aside time for yourself, completely undistracted. It's easy to get into a routine of making yourself feel stressed out, but really guilty, making yourself feel guilty so you feel stressed out, and always feeling like you gotta get this done, you gotta do this, you gotta like punishing yourself by not taking time for yourself, just yourself, is gonna make you more productive, and it's not. Stress is not gonna make you more productive. Guilt is not gonna make you more productive. Oh, that's a good sign that I've released. I won't say released a lot of energy, but I've circulated a lot of energy. Super hot. Woo. I'm trying to keep my movements pretty PG-13. Okay, guys. Oh, this about to slip. Ah!